Okay, today we're talking about 3.NBT.1, which is rounding to the nearest 10 or 100. Now there's two main strategies that I like to use. I like to use the pyramid strategy, and then I also have a rounding song. Now these are my two primary strategies. There are others, but these are the ones I'm going to be using today. So let's first talk about the pyramid strategy. If we're rounding a number, we are deciding if it is closer to 0 or 10 if we are figuring out if a number is closer to 0 or 10. So let's say if we have the number 2, that is going to be closer to 0 than 10. And the pyramid helps us see that it is closer to 0 than 10. If we ask ourselves, is 4 closer to 0 than 10? That is still closer to 0. When we get to the top of this mountain, or this pyramid, we need to remember that we've worked so hard to get to the peak, to this middle, that we are going to keep going. And if you're going to describe the pyramid or the mountain strategy, we have to be able to show that the 5 rounds up. So 5 or greater rounds up. Cool? Cool. Now, if we are trying to round a number like, let's say 27, well, that's more than 10, so that doesn't fit on this pyramid. So we're trying to round to the nearest 10, so we're going to round between 20 and 30. Okay, 27 falls between these two 10s. So if we draw a pyramid, just like this, and we put the halfway point, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25's at the top, and then we have 26, 27, 28, 29 to 30. Well, 27 is going to be over here, isn't it? Which is closer to 30. So it's easy to visually see that the 27 is closer to 30. So 27 rounds to 30. So this is a pretty fundamental concept. And even if we're dealing with a number in the hundreds, like 127, and we're still rounding to the 10s, all that means is that we are going to have a number between 120 and 130. And if we draw that pyramid, then we have 121, 122, 123, 124. At the top we have 125, 126, 27, 28, 29, and then 130. So 127 falls here on the mountain, which means it rounds closer to 130, to that 10. Now the rounding song is a strategy I use that basically gets the same answer, just in a little bit of a different way. So if we're rounding, let's say, the rounding song doesn't really work with 0 to 10, so let's start with 27. If we're rounding 27 to the nearest 10, then we're going to find our place. We're going to look next door. Look next door. And if it's 5 or greater, which is similar to the mountain strategy, if it's 5 or greater, yes, add 1 more. So we're going to add 1 more because it's 5 or greater. And we're going to add 1 more to the tens place. Cool. Numbers in front. There are no numbers in front here, but we're going to see that this works when we get into a number like 127. Numbers in front stay the same. So there are no numbers in front, but they stay the same. There's still no numbers in front. Numbers behind 0 zeros their name. So the numbers behind zeros their name. So we got the same answer, but we're looking at the number differently. We're not having to draw a pyramid. We're just looking at the place value and rounding accordingly. So if we look at a number like 127 and we're rounding to the nearest 10, then we're still going to find our place, look next door. Is it 5 or greater? Yep. Add one more. Numbers in front stay the same. Numbers behind, zeros their name. So that's basically all there is to rounding using either the pyramid or mountain strategy or the rounding song or the rounding poem. And that's pretty much rounding in a nutshell. Practice and make sure that you can do a problem like, even if it's 127, rounding to the hundreds place isn't much different. Even if you're going to do a mountain strategy, I'm going to separate this. If I do a mountain strategy here, I can do a mountain where 127 is going to fall between 100 and 200. And in the middle is 150. 127 is going to be on this side, so it'll fall back to 100. The poem, we could find our place, look next door. Is it 5 or greater? No. So we don't add one more. Numbers in front, there aren't any. Numbers behind, zeros their name. So, pyramid or poem, rounding works with whichever strategy you use.